barriers to find and keep jobs, which provides purpose, pride, and dignity. Not only do they serve thousands of children and adults every year, but they also provide services to help people achieve the highest level of independence. Nicole Suydam, who is president and CEO of Goodwill of Orange County, joins us today to share more about her organization. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here. So let's start with you.
Yes.
What is your path to your current position at Goodwill?
Yeah, well, I just started in this position. It'll be almost 11 months, so going in on my 1-year anniversary. And I have been in the nonprofit sector for about 22 years. So really started just a couple years out of college and have dedicated my entire career to the nonprofit sector.
Why?
For me, it was a couple reasons. I had this real passion for wanting to help others. I thought initially that would be through maybe politics or law, and realized real quickly in college that I wanted to be in the nonprofit world. And I think part of it is my own upbringing.
Okay.
Growing up in a low-income single-parent household. My father passed away when I was 7, so my mom did it all. So I saw her and how she juggled and struggled, and still gave me a really good life. And I had so many wonderful mentors and people in my life that I think put me on the right path.
Sure. Are you Orange County born?
I was actually born and raised in Santa Maria, California, on this beautiful Central Coast.
Yeah, that's nice.
So,
okay. How'd you get to Orange County?
For college, I went to right here in Costa Mesa, California, Vanguard University.
Sure.
And was excited to go to a private, Christian liberal arts college, and Vanguard was that for me.
So you've been in the nonprofit space almost your entire professional career, and they are businesses.
Right. So that is usually, I think, where most people are surprised, right? Business people almost feel like, well, God, do you know what I'm talking about? Because, you run a nonprofit and I run a business. I'm like, well, the only difference we have really is that the designation through the IRS, right? That gives us a 501c3.
Right.
It's a tax status. We are running businesses.
In my experience, leading CEO peer groups for kind of 10 to 250 employees, we try to have at least one nonprofit in each group. Some of the business practices are more defined in a nonprofit of the same size than in a privately held for-profit.
Right. There's so much in terms of oversight and compliance, right, that we're held to a high standard.
Right.
And so there's a lot of business owners that I'll have maybe on my board where they don't even do some of the things we're doing.
Right.
From a compliance standpoint.
Right. And mission, vision, guiding
values,
principle, values. These things you have to have them. If you're going to go to the marketplace and ask people to give you their money to do good work with it, they expect you have some type of governance to this.
Absolutely. And and the stewardship, right?
Yes.
How we use our resources, making sure we're, I think people expect nonprofits to be lean. But, the amount of work we do every day, I think surprises business leaders.
Right.
And, board members. And I find in talking to board members or other people who support us that they often learn from us, too, for their own businesses.
Right. And that's what I find in my peer groups is many of the small business owners learn best practices from the executive directors who may be running, or the founders who are running a nonprofit of a similar size or even smaller.
Which we love.
Right. And then everybody kind of learns from each other. Okay. So I'm sure many that are listening to us live here on octalkradio.net or on a podcast, iTunes or whatever, has heard of Goodwill and Goodwill of Orange County specifically. What is the business of Goodwill? What are you doing?
Yeah, well, our mission, our whole purpose is to help people who are facing barriers find and keep jobs. So we know that when that happens, it provides people with purpose, pride, and dignity. That's really the whole reason for being.
Okay.
Whereas most people, when they think of Goodwill, they immediately think, oh, yeah, thrift store, donation center.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Good branding.
And that's, great. We want people to support that. But we do that for a bigger purpose. And that's really to help people facing barriers find and keep jobs.
So how does someone going to a donation center and giving a gently used something that you guys accept create jobs for someone?
Well, we're in a couple ways. We generate dollars on all of those donated goods that you give every year, right? We're able to generate dollars through our retail stores.
Okay.
And it also creates jobs in those stores for people who have disabilities and other barriers.
Okay.
So it's
so
really
employees who are working in retail.
Right. people who have barriers who are working in our stores.
Okay.
They're getting, maybe this is their first job, so they're getting an opportunity to learn, the work skills, how to come to work on time, how to have a good attitude, how to listen to your supervisor, how to be a good team player, all of those, work skills that you need to be successful.
Right. Well, what about in the back office, or not the back office, but the warehouse? So it doesn't go right from the
right. There's a process.
Right.
Right. So once we accept a donation, right, let's say you're donating at one of our trailer sites at Irvine Valley College or any location. That's a popular one. From there, it's going to go to our central distribution center, and then it gets processed, and then we get it staged for, if it's clothing, it'll get hung and tagged.
Okay.
And then we know which stores need the kind of items that are available.
Right.
So they know, okay, we sold 50 pairs of jeans today, so we're going to have to replenish the jeans. I mean, so they have a sense for what's needed.
Right.
And then from there, all of the warehouse, like kind of the home goods, will also get processed at our store locations. So it's a centralized distribution center.
That's how many people work for Goodwill Orange County?
Total employee count is almost 1,600.
Wow. That's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Right?
Yeah.
I live in San Juan, and there's actually a Goodwill Boutique.
Yes.
I may not be using the right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you explain what that is?
Yeah. So we have about 5 boutiques in Orange County. And so essentially what we're doing is at our centralized distribution center, we have employees who are trained to kind of identify the items that, maybe are designer or higher end or things that we think could sell at our boutiques. And so those will get priced accordingly, and then they'll go to one of those 5 boutique stores.
So you're getting, wow.
Yeah, so we're trying to get as much value out of the donation as we can, because the idea is the more you can make from these donations, the more jobs and the more we can do for our mission.
Right, because you're reinvesting it in the business
Exactly.
model in helping people find jobs.
You got it.
Wow. How many stores do you have, retail outlets are there in Orange County? This isn't a quiz. I'm just curious.
Yeah, we have
20,
24 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, and what we always have our eye on, okay, is there one we could open? Where are we not? Because we're maybe about 30% saturated in the market. So we have some room to grow. But yeah, in terms of the thrift retail, we have the highest concentration of any others in Orange County.
So you're doing inventory management, you're moving products, seasonal items, I'm sure. This is a retail outlet with 1,600 employees. That's a primary area of employment for Goodwill? Where a lot of the 1,600?
And then we also, yes, for Goodwill of Orange County, those are our 1,600 employees.
Okay.
And then as well, we have people in our programs that we're trying to place into employment in the community at any employer that's willing to, hire the people we serve.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that program?
Sure. Yeah. So we have individuals with what the barrier could be a disability, whether it be physical, developmental, it could be mental health challenges, it could be lack of work or education, and our veterans as well that we're serving. So what we're normally trying to do is we're trying to find out, okay, let's learn about this person's background, let's help them with their resume, help them with interview skills. And then from there, we're trying to figure out where we could place them in a job where they could be successful. And so we do that every single day.
Is that a newer program?
No, we've been doing that for years.
So I can understand physical and mental barriers.
Yep.
I can sort of understand lack of education.
Yep.
Tell me about veterans. What are the challenges that veterans are facing?
So many of our veterans are coming back, and depending on maybe how long they've been in the service, they just don't necessarily have maybe an understand. Employers don't necessarily always look at their resume and see how you can bridge the gap between their military experience and civilian work, right?
Okay.
And so we're really trying to help bridge that gap. Trying to show a private sector, corporation, HR department, hey, here are some great skills, experiences, and character that this individual can bring to your company. And we help that veteran translate their experience in the military to jobs where they could be successful in the private sector.
So This is a great program, and for those loyal listeners to Critical Mass radio show and podcast, you know that a while ago we had Bob Marsh from the File Depot on, who was talking as a business owner who has hired through this program, raving about the quality of the candidates that he's gotten and the work ethic and all that. Listen to that show, Bob Marsh, the File Depot, if you want to go deeper. But this is so before we went on the air, I was curious if you're having trouble finding candidates, and you say you have...
No, there's always individuals that get referred to us. Okay. So sometimes they're coming from maybe the California Department of Rehabilitation, other agencies, the Regional Center of Orange County. So we get referrals constantly. And then, of course, we have other programs like our Veterans Program where we're meeting veterans every day.
Right.
And we do outreach to find them. So where we have the challenge is finding the employers who will hire them. So that's always, and our team does a really amazing job networking, being out in the community, and I think they've done amazingly well finding employers who are willing to take a chance, know, willing to hire our people, and for those employers to find, wow, find me more people like this.
I think that's what happens, right?
Who want to come to work early and who have a great attitude and who are always willing to learn, who lift the morale of everybody else.
Their phones before they start their shift and turn it back on when they leave for the day.
Right.
I mean, these are, when Bob told the stories, and I've heard it from other people who have hired through this program, it's amazing the quality of the worker that they're getting once they make sure they get the right fit. I think that's part of the value of Goodwill, is helping to find the right fit for the right candidates.
Just like any job, I think we all want to feel that sense of purpose and pride in our work, and I think finding the right fit for people is really a goal we have.
Right. So I was mentioning before we went on the air, in September on the 20th, we have an all-member event here for the Critical Mass peer group community, and one of the gentlemen in the organization, Eric, is going to come in and talk about this program, because I truly believe most of the members of our community should be considering these candidates for positions that they have.
Absolutely.
In their
as more and more companies, the buzzwords you hear are, diversity, equity, inclusion.
Yes.
And, we are serving, people with disabilities, people with barriers, and they want to work, right? And we can help that company have more diversity, equity, and inclusion, and provide the support and resources they need to make sure that placement is successful.
Okay, so we've talked about the iconic, kind of the retail side of it. We've talked about this employment. Is there anything else at Goodwill Orange County that we should share with our audience?
I don't know if most people know this, but we have another business we run called, it's an e-commerce. It's called shopgoodwill.com. It is a platform where started here in Orange County by Goodwill of Orange County, actually 20 years ago this past August. So we were way ahead of our time.
Right.
The CEO back then, George Kessinger, so he was CEO here in Orange County, he saw what eBay was doing, and he says, you know what? We can do this. We have the same inventory, collectibles and, antiques and instruments and things like that. And so, he started that here, got the team to get that going, and it's been an incredible business for us. So we post our own items locally onto shopgoodwill.com. So the items, we curate them through our donations. Sure. Our employees are trained to find them. And then from there, we've extended this platform to other Goodwills. So it's exclusive to Goodwill.
Okay.
So other Goodwills across the country, there are 127 other Goodwills that post their items. So it's anything from jewelry, clothing, collectibles, designer handbags, instruments, things like that.
Well, that
so it's a pretty fun place to shop.
Right.
Yeah. So that's another way we can add value. And, more and more people are going online to buy things. So there we are.
So you may want to check out that shop, Goodwill.
Shopgoodwill.com.
Not yet. Wait till the interview is over, and you got another 4 minutes, and then you can shop into.
Yes.
So, Nicole, why did you decide 11 months ago to accept this job? What is it about Goodwill that?
Well, I had a chance to work at Goodwill of Orange County for 9 years before becoming CEO at Second Harvest Food Bank.
Okay.
So this is my second time coming back.
Okay.
So in that 9 years that I was there, so 2003 to 2012, I obviously fell in love with the mission and the everything that the organization stands for. I really couldn't imagine leaving, right? Even back then, especially once you're there a few years and you're getting maybe opportunities to look at other jobs. I went, no, God, I love it here. Why would I leave?
Right.
And then Second Harvest came along as an opportunity, and that was the first nonprofit I worked at a college. So I've worked at both now twice.
Okay.
So I think for me, coming back to Goodwill was like feeling like going home again.
Sure.
And I guess having an opportunity to finish what I got to start there 9 years ago and to work with an amazing leadership team and a really strong board of directors. I think there's so much opportunity for us in terms of where we head in the future, and I'm excited to be part of that.
We have a few minutes left, and I'd love to know your vision to the degree that you could share that with us today. What else do you think the organization could be doing in the future?
Yeah, so I think a few things. The big thing right now I'm working on is our culture. Really want to create a values-based culture where our workforce feels like this is the best place to work in Orange County, right? That we are considered that someday, and even in the Business Journal as one of the best places to work. So that driving towards that, because I think when we start there, it will impact everything else we do. It'll impact, how we operate, the efficiency in how we operate. I think there's a lot of opportunity to drive more profit on our retail business. And so we're in the process of looking at that right now. So we just did a strategic plan, so it's a big part of that, because that's the majority of our revenue. It's about 60% of our revenue is the retail side. So I think there's an opportunity to continue to strengthen that, be more efficient. I think as we move forward in the future, there's still more opportunity on the e-commerce side. I think we've been successful the last 20 years, but e-commerce in the thrift market is exploding. And so I think for us to be even a bigger part of that is going to be important moving forward. So I definitely see us, investing more in e-commerce.
Right.
And then in terms of our programs and services, we want to be a lot more laser focused on the workforce development. We talked about that a lot today already. We've had a lot of other types of programs as well that provide people with independence. But I think strategically, as we looked at our plan for the next 3 to 5 years, we really want to focus on the programs and the work that will help people find and keep jobs.
That is key, isn't it? Because what we said in the open is so true. When someone has a job, everything else seems to get better. Yeah,
other things happen for them. What's exciting right now is it's our 95th anniversary this year, and so I'm looking forward to that centennial celebration 5 years from now, where we can look at all that we've accomplished, but still be able to move forward in an innovative way.
Now, okay, we're against the clock, but help me to understand. You're Goodwill of Orange County.
Yes.
Explain that to Goodwill.
Yes, so we are a member of Goodwill Industries International.
Okay.
So it's a little bit like a franchise. Okay. So Goodwill Industries International owns the brand, and we pay, obviously membership dues to be part of this network.
Okay.
So it's a membership network. There's about 159 other Goodwills in this network. And the nice thing about it, the great benefit, is that we share resources, best practices, ideas. We visit each other. We learn from each other. So that's a really beautiful thing.
Boy, this is a business within a business, with wrapped around a nonprofit, doing good work for the community,
Absolutely, right? Yeah. So we do get a lot of value out of being part of that.
Right, best practices and all the rest.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have you back on the show in the future if you're willing to come back, give us some more time, talk about the progress that you're making with this wonderful organization. I want to thank you for being a friend of the program and sharing.
Yeah,
if someone would like to learn more about Goodwill, where would you tell them?
You visit us at ocgoodwill.org.
Simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Nicole. It's been enjoyable.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, Paul Roberts, for engineering another marvelous show, and our 3 producers, without whom I couldn't do this show each week. They are Joan Park, Crystal Nunley, and our newest producer, Nicole Terry. If you'd like to connect with me, let's do it on LinkedIn. I'm Richard Franzi, Franzi. Until the next show, help all your decisions move your organization in a positive direction.